Hey scholars, Mrs. Cox, Anakin, and Riker back to read you another 2 chapters from Wonder. We are very excited about it. Alright, I'm going to place Anakin right over here so that Riker does not feel tempted to play with him. Okay, so this first chapter we're reading today is titled Switching Tables. So if you guys remember, we left off, we're still listening to Jack Will's point of view. He's back at school. The boys at school are kind of against him now, except for August, of course, because they're back to being friends. And right now they're at lunch. The next day at lunch, stupid me, I sat down at a table with Tristan, Nino, and Pablo. I thought maybe they were safe because they weren't really considered popular, but they weren't out there playing D&D at recess either. They were sort of in-betweeners. And at first I thought I scored because they were basically too nice to not acknowledge my presence when I walked over to the table. They all said, hey, though I could tell they looked at each other. But then the same thing happened that happened yesterday. Our lunch table was called, they got their food, and then they headed toward a new table on the other side of the cafeteria. Unfortunately, Mrs. G, who was the lunch teacher that day, saw what happened and chased after them. That is not allowed, boys, she scolded them loudly. This is not that kind of school. You get right back to your table. Oh, great, like that was going to help. Before they could be forced to sit back down at the table, I got up with my tray and walked away really fast. I could hear Mrs. G call my name, but I pretended not to hear and just kept walking to the other side of the cafeteria behind the lunch counter. Sit with us, Jack. It was summer. She and August were sitting at their table, and they were both waving me over. Why I didn't sit with August the first day of school? Okay, I'm a total hypocrite, I know. That very first day of school, I remember seeing August in the cafeteria. Everybody was looking at him, talking about him. Back then, no one was used to his face or even knew that he was coming to Beecher, so it was a total shocker for a lot of people to see him there on the first day of school. Most kids were even afraid to get near him. So when I saw him going into the cafeteria ahead of me, I knew he'd have no one to sit with, but I just couldn't bring myself to sit with him. I'd been hanging out with him all morning long because we had so many classes together, and I guess I was just kind of wanting a little normal time to chill with other kids. So when I saw him move to a table on the other side of the lunch counter, I purposely found a table as far away from there as I could find. I sat down with Isaiah and Luca, even though I'd never met them before, and we talked about baseball the whole time, and I played basketball with them at recess. They became my lunch table from then on. I heard Summer had sat down with August, which surprised me because I knew for a fact she wasn't one of the kids that Tushman had talked to about being friends with Augie. So I knew she was just doing it just to be nice, and that was pretty brave, I thought. So now here I was sitting with Summer and August, and they were being totally nice to me as always. I filled them in about everything Charlotte had told me, except for the whole big part about me having snapped under the pressure of being Augie's friend, or the part about Julian's mom saying that Augie had special needs, or the part about the school board. I guess all I really told them about was how Julian had had a holiday party and managed to turn the whole grade against me. It just feels so weird, I said, to not have people talking to you, pretending you don't even exist. Augie started smiling. "Ya think?" he said sarcastically. "Welcome to my world." All right, guys, what do you think? First of all, why do you think that Jack Will left certain things out? So when he was talking to Augie and Summer, there's certain things he didn't tell August. Why do you think he kept those from August? Okay. And how do you feel about this whole situation happening at school? If you were Jack Will and the whole school was against you, how would you feel? Okay. Would you feel really alone? Would you feel thankful that you had those two friends? Would you go and confront Julian and be like, hey, I heard that you had a holiday party and you said all this stuff about me. Why is that? How would you respond in a situation like this? I'd love to hear your guys' comments. You can either comment on the video below, or you guys can go to our Google Classroom and let me know what your thoughts are. Have a great day, guys.